Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
and make even dumber drawings.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Caldwell.
That's right. We got a secret Caldwell in that intro.
Secret Caldwell.
That's right.
Who's that riding in the caboose seat? Choo-choo. Nathan's not here, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we're finally out from under his boot heel. So today, we are doing a suggestion that comes from us from Destry Tucker, and it is draw historical figures as anime characters.
Hell yeah.
Which is right up our alley, even if it did mean we had
yeah.
to do more research to prepare for this episode than we've ever had to do for anything.
This is the most thoroughly prepared Drawfee we've ever done.
Yeah, which means we thought about it for literally 10 seconds before we started.
Can I get us started?
Please do.
Please do.
Just to get us into it, before I reveal who my character is, I'm just going to like rough out a quick Bulma. I'm going to use a Bulma base for this drawing. Similar to a bouillabaisse, but it's a Bulma base.
It's a classic chef's trick.
Exactly. A little artist trick. Not sure where to start? I'll just do a Bulma.
You can build it out into whatever you want.
It's a very malleable form. So my character, not character, I keep saying that. It's just a real ass person from the world.
A real human.
Is Mary Anning, who was a fossil collector, dealer, and paleontologist during the early 1800s.
Fossil dealer sounds like a great title to have.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was at, like, during the Wild West of fossil discovery. Not only were you a paleontologist, you were also just selling them. You didn't give a shit.
These fossils are priced to move.
Her father was a cabinet maker. She needed the money.
She was from a very poor family.
Exactly. Yeah, she found a bunch of fossils in the Blue Lias cliffs of Lyme Regis, which it's very fun how the overlap between Britain and anime bullshit is, how good that overlap feels.
Yeah, it seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, Blue Lias cliffs is like, that sounds so anime. But no, in fact, it's a real thing from the world.
If this were an anime, I feel like she would be so upset at her father because he's a shitty cabinet maker who's not bringing in any money. And she's like, she goes out to think on the Blue Lias cliffs, and that's when she discovers her first fossil, and everything changes.
That's exactly kind of the approach I'm taking. I picture this as kind of like a fossil hunter / dinosaur summoner show.
Oh, yes.
I believe the name of the show would be Summoner's Bone.
Fantastic.
I love it.
So we're getting into it now. She was not allowed to join the Geological Society due to her status as a woman.
As a lady.
But she was kind of consulted on several matters of paleontological importance. And she also made a lot of discoveries. She discovered the ichthyosaur, the complete plesiosaur, and the first pterosaur outside of Germany.
She discovered a complete plesiosaur? She just found the whole dang thing?
She found the whole dang thing. There's pictures, or there's like sketches of her like completed plesiosaur. She had a fossil shop in her hometown, and you could just go there and buy fossils from her.
That seems irresponsible.
It seems irresponsible, but it also seems like badass as hell. It's like she was living in a real life Animal Crossing. Which, damn it, now I think about it, I should have drawn that style. That would have been so much easier.
Yeah, it probably would have saved you some time.
Do you want to know about her tragic backstory?
Oh, I'd love to.
Please do.
Okay, because this is like, not only was her father a destitute cabinet maker, the reason that she was able to find these fossils was due to like landslides in the region. So she and her dog Trey would go and look for fossils.
Oh, that sounds like a good boy.
He was a very good boy, but he was killed during a landslide.
Oh my
shit.
God.
I guess they should have seen that coming.
The very like geological event that allowed her to pursue her dream of fossil hunting killed her best friend.
That is very anime.
Yeah,
it starts
totally.
off with like a best friend death.
And so I think that's like when she sets out to prove her worth as the world's greatest fossil hunter.
I like the idea that, like a Dragon Ball or something, she's out to collect these bones, and the bones have powers, different powers depending on the bones.
Mm-hmm.
More of a set she gets, the stronger those powers become.
My thought on it is that it's like a very laborious Yu-Gi-Oh! Where to summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon, you need every bone in the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Gotta find them all.
Yeah, there's very few actual, like, reconstructed fossils. But if you can reconstruct a fossil, you do get a dinosaur friend.
And she did find the complete plesiosaur.
She found Pleasy.
We know that.
She found, this is, I guess Pleasy would be the name of her dino buddy.
So how did she get this full-bodied, intact dino? Did she, like, revive it?
Oh, yeah, there's, again, the summoner's bone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the first bone she found. It's a mystical bone that does allow her to summon dinosaurs once she's completed the full fossil. And that's kind of like the anime journey of the show, is like the Geological League, I imagine, is like trying to get all the dinosaur bones, and they won't let her join their ranks, so she has to go out on her own and find bones for herself.
They're like the state alchemists of this
exactly
show.
And she's operating outside of their jurisdiction, so they're pissed.
They hate that. But they also hate women. So it's a tough call for them.
A lot of hate are going around for them. Oh, I hate it when people act outside my jurisdiction and also are women.
Yeah, but if they're women, I don't want them here, that's for sure. So where do we send them?
They did like her contributions, what Caldwell said earlier. So it's like, ooh, we're not going to give you credit for anything, but also please help.
Yeah, please help.
That was the thing, is she was like not credited properly for any of her work. Julia, I think you actually suggested this Mary Anning to me.
I did.
And I was like really pumped to draw it because I feel like there's like so many underrepresented, cool, badass ladies in history. And I wanted to draw them and, only mildly disrespect her legacy by drawing her riding a cool dino.
Well, I think the important thing here is that we're disrespecting her legacy in the same way we would any male historical figure.
It's true. Equal
yeah.
disrespect.
Exactly.
I'm going to add one more element up in the clouds here, and that is, of course, Trey watching over her on her journey.
Oh, Trey.
Yeah. Does he like give her guidance and stuff when she needs it?
Yes. I think that absolutely Trey is like her spirit guide, which is fun because like I don't think he can talk as it goes. It's just like she sees a ghost dog every once in a while. She's like, "Oh, hey, Trey," and maybe she pets him, and that's it.
Yeah, he's still just doing dog stuff.
Yeah.
He's not trying to guide anyone. He's just trying to be a dog. Doesn't realize he's dead.
So wait, she has a summoner's bone.
Uh-huh.
She summoned Trey, or Trey's just like already hanging around?
I think it's kind of like time travel rules where like you can only bring back certain bones and creatures.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this plesiosaur has unfinished business and like wanted to be summoned. You have to speak to the heart of the bones is the thing.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't believe I'm having to explain this to you, Julia. But
I'm sorry.
You're the historian here.
I'm sorry I asked.
All right, I need to be done.
I love that the dog is saluting.
It's very good.
Jacob, did you want to go?
I would love to go.
Hooray.
Okay, I'm going to get started roughing out some poses here.
While you're doing that, I want to share one more fun fact about Mary Anning. She also played a key role in discovering that coprolites, which at the time were known as bezoar stones, were actually...
Whoa.
Yeah. Sounds really cool, right?
It super does.
Well, it turns out that bezoar stones were in fact just fossilized feces.
Nice!
Oh, damn it. Less cool.
Actual other cool fact about Mary Anning, they think that she is the inspiration for the tongue twister She Sells Seashells by the Seashore.
Yes, and I think that the anime opening would probably be like a pop punk cover of that song. So Jacob, who's your character? Who's your real human?
Who's my real human character that I'm drawing? So mine, I got inspiration from actually a College Humor article. Our boss, Andrew Bridgman, was testing out like a series idea where it was like about how history is like actually super rad, and it was going to be a series of animated comics about like historical figures. Illustrated.
There you go.
That's the word. And he did one of them, and I really liked it, and we had like a good freelancer do it. And then it didn't do well, and it never happened again, as is the way at our site. But the one that he did was a woman named Shih, who was known as a pirate queen.
Okay.
Nice.
Which straight away, I think we're on to some stuff.
All right.
She was born in 1775, and no one knows a lot about her early life, like for sure, but it is said that she worked in a brothel, sort of in like the earliest records of her, she worked in a brothel. And it was at that point that she met a pirate by the name of Ching. Some accounts state that basically he was like so entranced by like her beauty and whatever that he was like, we have to become married. And so they did. Other accounts state that he met her and realized she was like brilliant as hell. And so they made like a business decision to get married and run a pirate empire together.
They made the Pirates Pact.
They made the Pirates Pact, yeah. Whatever the case, they did get married, and she joined his pirate fleet, which was called the Red Flag Fleet.
Ooh.
I mean, this is just so firmly in One Piece territory. Do they know that they were plagiarizing?
I don't think they know. So she joined his fleet, but then shortly thereafter, he died in Vietnam. Not the war, just the place. Basically, as soon as he died, Shih was like, well, I'm taking control of this, which is unprecedented at the time because women were not, known for controlling large pirate fleets. as you may have guessed. So basically, she immediately started like Game of Thronesing her way, gaining like support from all the important members of the pirate crew. And she became the new leader of the crew. Like I said, because it was still a weird time for women to be in charge of pirate crews, they had like a figurehead male, which was the adopted son of her deceased husband. And they said he was the leader, but he basically followed all of her orders. So she was like the hidden queen.
That's awesome.
Which I think may be even cooler in some ways.
Yeah, it's good to always have a dude who's going to get murdered before you when things go sour. That's some serious pirate logic, I would say.
It's awesome pirate logic. Basically, as soon as she took over, because she had like incredible business sense and was like a really, really smart, organized person, like the fleet started like growing like crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the one thing that like most pirates don't want to spend time dealing with. It's like you get into pirating because you like murder and gold. You're not super into like Excel spreadsheets.
That's not really their thing, but Shih was into that. She was also into murder and gold.
Murder and gold.
That helps as well.
What a polymath.
So the fleet started doing super well. They had like 50,000 sailors in their fleet and like 300 ships. It was massive, and they were just like pirating all over the damn place.
Pirating so hard.
Pirating incredibly hard, and they were unstoppable. The Chinese government would come after them all the time, and they partnered with like Britain and like other places would send like bounty hunters to go and take her out. All of them failed. There was nothing they could do.
What did they steal?
They stole everything. Gold, food, whatever they could get their hands on.
Blu-rays.
Blu-rays, stereo systems. One of my favorite parts about her is they say the reason that she was so successful in large part was because as soon as she became the leader, she set up these incredibly strict guidelines to being a pirate in her like company. And the first one, which is my favorite, is if you ever disobey her, you get your head chopped off.
That's an awesome first rule.
Disobey once, no head. So
no warnings.
Immediately, every pirate in her employ was terrified.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
If she goes up to someone and she's like, "You're a pirate on my ship," and that dude's like, "I don't want to be," does he get beheaded? Because that's technically disobeying her because she said, so you have no choice.
Was the guy on her ship at the time? If he was on her ship, I think she's well within her rights. Also, her rights don't matter. She's a pirate queen.
That's true.
She's
so she could just behead you anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that will hold up in court. Is they'll be like, "Well, you chopped his head off," and she's like, "Yes, but I'm a pirate queen. I rule the 7 seas. I'm the leader of the Red Flag Army." And the judge will be like, "That's a very good point. Also, I'm realizing you chopped my head off while I was talking."
Yeah, so I am actually dying.
I'm dying. I guess you're also a judge queen now, so congratulations.
I do want to get, though, to my favorite part about this woman.
Please do.
I got to tell you about her ending.
Did she also have a plesiosaur?
Basically, she ruled the seas for a really long time, just like decimating all forces that came to her way because she was a sort of a master strategist, and even like the government couldn't strategy her, so she kept wrecking their stuff. This went on until eventually they finally started to catch up with her a bit, and she started taking some casualties in her fleet and in battles. But being the smart woman that she was, as soon as this started happening, she went to the Chinese government with her entire fleet, walked right up and into like the Capitol building, unarmed, and said, "Let's make a deal. Grant me and my entire fleet amnesty for our just decades of crime." And let us keep all the treasure we took, and we'll stop pirating. We'll just stop doing it. And the government was like, "Shit, all right." And so they completely forgave her all of her crimes. She took all of her riches that she got from pillaging and pirating for years and years, and went and opened a gambling house and lived out the rest of her days surrounded by loved ones.
That's phenomenal.
Running a business.
She got out clean?
She got out clean.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm going to draw like her kind of old lady version here.
Why did the Chinese government just kill her? That would put an end to her crimes, her being dead.
They didn't kill her because she came to negotiate with her crew of 40,000 at their shore.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
The implied threat being,
okay.
Probably take this deal, or else it's going to get really, really bad right here.
Yeah, that's fair.
On your homeland.
Now, what happened to like her 40,000 crew? Did they also work at the gambling house, or did they all live together in one big house, like a family?
I'd like to think they all live together in one big house. I actually read that the government even went so far as to offer them jobs. So
listen, we heard you're real good at sailing.
You guys are really good at like sea stuff. Do you want to just like work for the government now and be government sailors? And they were like, shit, yeah, I guess.
This is so insane.
It's really wild. And she's like one of the few, you know, like notorious pirates who, instead of being like killed in a battle, just made a ton of money, negotiated her way out, and lived the rest of her days in peace.
And like did it is the thing. She kept her word.
She did the damn thing.
Now, did she do one last job even after retirement?
I think her last job was opening a gambling house, which I guess was still kind of illegal.
Yeah.
So she could never quite like keep her hands totally clean.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the government like knew she was doing it, and they were like, just let her do this. We don't want to have to deal with any of that other stuff she was doing. That's pretty much Shih. She was fucking awesome.
That's so good.
She did do like a lot of you know, vile and reprehensible shit. Lots of murder, lots of stealing from innocent people. She did it with so much style and got out
Raddest
scot-free.
bad person.
Yeah, a lot of panache.
She's rad and bad. That's exactly what it is.
Bad and
but in
rad.
a way that I can respect it.
Now, Julia, are you going to also draw a cool lady riding on the open seas on some sort of vessel?
The lady that I'm drawing has nothing to do with the open seas, and I'm sorry about that.
Can we shoehorn her into an open sea situation?
I kind of could, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, we'll figure that out.
All right, so I'm going to do a wee bit of a sketch.
Oh, a wee bit of a sketch
A wee bit of a sketch.
I realize now while Julia's sketching, I feel like I didn't talk a lot about what Shi's anime would be.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
But I do think a One Piece pirate adventure type story, you know, rags to riches, she wants to become the greatest pirate of all time situation. And then there'd be plenty of good fights of her, like, it'd definitely be like a shonen anime situation where she's getting into fights with all the different like leaders of various pirate factions and like winning them over to her side and growing her crew.
And all the pirate factions have like a weird theme that shouldn't work but does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're the big metal boat crew. And it's like, shouldn't you sink? Shouldn't you be sinking? And they're like, yes, all the time. But look at all our cool armor that we wear for some reason on the open sea.
We're the can't swim crew. You guys can't swim? Nope, don't need to, never sunk.
Seems iffy.
How confident we are in our abilities.
We've committed.
We're the inside out boat crew. What? The water's on the inside of the boat.
And it sits on land.
Fight us. No, that's an aquarium. You just described an aquarium.
Yeah, I could just leave.
But look at all of our cool exotic fish. Yeah, they're lovely. Have you thought about just like starting a business where people can come and look at your fish? That's a much better idea.
Yeah, we haven't pirated anything successfully.
I guess maybe they stole the fish.
Maybe, but can you really steal fish?
Yes.
No, I don't think so, dude. I always think about this when I'm watching like anime, and it's like the mundane things that I'm envious of, which is that they don't have to like shower or do any hygiene ever. They don't have to change clothes. Their hair always looks good.
Well, their hair is like, in our world, that would be a bad hair day, but for them it works.
Yeah, for them it works.
Like if you saw someone with Goku's hair in real life, you'd be like, get some product in that. Go to the barber shop, my man.
What's a barber shop? Oh, Christ, this guy. Well, there was that recent clip from like Dragon Ball Super, where it's revealed that Goku doesn't know what kissing is.
Or he's never kissed his wife.
He's never, that it's actually a thing that happens. And like Vegeta's like, you have kids. He's got like 3 kids and he's never kissed.
That's a pro move. That's how you become a Super Saiyan.
Never kiss even once. That's why Goku surpassed Vegeta, because Vegeta kissed too much.
Exactly. Julie, what are you doing here?
So I'm drawing one of my top 3 feminist heroes. Her name is Dorothy Kilgallen. Basically, she was born in, I think she was born in 1919. I could be wrong about that. I forgot to like read up on her. I'm just going off of muscle memory from when I was reading about her.
Brain muscle memory?
Brain muscle.
I think that's just memory, Juliet.
My memory. So Dorothy Kilgallen was a very successful reporter in the time where ladies really were only allowed to write about like gossip things, like socialites and stuff like that. But she basically went to college and then left college because she got a job at the New York Evening Journal, I believe is what it's called.
Ah, yes. The sexiest of New York's journals.
I love coming home to an evening journal.
And she participated in an event that was open to the public, and she was the only woman who participated in it. And what it was that it was a race around the world. And the stipulation was that you had to only use transportation that was made available to the public.
Whoa.
And she came in second, and she was the only lady.
That's nuts.
So that got her started on everything. But then she was only allowed to write about, again, the socialites and whatever, and she hated it. So on her free time, she wrote about things that she thought actually mattered, like the war that was going on.
We must remember the war.
Yeah, and she started her own, like, radio show, which is great because that's, like, the 1940s equivalent of starting your own podcast. But she reported about the war and different leaders and stuff. Basically, she was so successful as a reporter that they, like, sent her out to go do investigations on things, and, like, Ernest Hemingway called her the best female writer ever.
That's high praise from Ernest. I don't think he praised a lot of things.
Little backhanded, Ernest, but okay.
But, it's better than him just shitting on you, which I think is what he did to most people.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know more about this. How long did it take her to get all the way around the world?
I don't actually know, because that's not her claim to fame.
Imagine living that life where you're like, yeah, that's like a footnote.
What it seems like is the historical equivalent of doing a viral stunt, but then also getting famous for a lot of other stuff, not just being like a flash in the pan. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was basically to, like, get her name in the paper and stuff like that. Basically, her problem was that she did not know when to, like, stop investigating things. So she was best friends with Frank Sinatra and wrote a very long report about basically how he was connected to the mob.
Oh, geez. And he's just like, Dorothy, what the fuck? I thought we were buds.
And she, like, was right, but he didn't appreciate that. So they became enemies from then. When the U.S. government was placing in Castro in Cuba, she flew down to Florida to interview people who had escaped Cuba under Castro's reign, and interview them about how they felt about Castro and what he was really like, when the whole government was like, yeah, no, this guy's great. And she was like, let me go ask people about that. And they were all like,
yeah.
No, he's awful.
So it seems like a lot of her career was just being like, yo, this dude sucks. This dude that you all like, he sucks.
He sucks, sorry.
The other thing is that she was also, while she was doing all of these investigations, she was also on a show called What's My Line, which is where I learned of her. It's a show that started in the 1950s. You can watch it online on YouTube.
What's My Line Is It Anyway? Yes.
What's My Line Is It Anyway? So you can actually see, like, clips of her. And it's fun because that show also has, like, Eleanor Roosevelt on it and Salvador Dali.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. The big thing with her was that she, and this is like a big conspiracy thing with Dorothy Kilgallen, is that she basically, when JFK was assassinated, she said that basically, like, the government did it. So she investigated, and she said, she told, like, her family that she had, like, a big break in the case. And she was in the process of writing it up when she died.
What?
Convenient.
And the circumstances around her death are super weird. She died of a combination of alcohol and barbiturate combo. But she knew, like, she took barbiturates to go to sleep. And so she knew the dangers of them. So she knew what not to do with barbiturates, like, because she had been taking them for quite a while. So the other circumstances around her death are that she was found in a room that she refused to use in her house because her husband had an affair in it.
Oh, dang.
Oh, geez.
So she refused to actually, like, go in there, but she was found in the bed in that room, which she certainly wouldn't have done. She was also found with a book on her lap, but her glasses that she needed, like, mandatorily to read with were downstairs. She had all of her makeup on. She had her day clothes on. So she wouldn't be taking the barbiturates to go to sleep because she was completely, like, ready to go about her day.
This sounds fishy. Sounds fishy as hell. I think we need to open up an investigation into this.
Yeah, and then not stop until we too are found dead in our bed from barbiturates.
Exactly. So is she like, you said this was for the JFK assassination?
Yeah, and she also, got in trouble for the Frank Sinatra thing with the mob. She was also very good friends with several mobsters because she interviewed them.
So, like, it wasn't the fact that Sinatra was in the mob. It was just that he was being cagey about it. That's what she didn't like.
Basically.
Yeah, it's like, own up, dude. Grow a pair.
It's cool. All your friends in the mob are so sad that you don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also, like, in the middle of writing a book while she was doing this, and she was writing about the JFK assassination. So you know, a lot of people were like, well, it looks like a suicide. And everyone was like, no, she definitely did not. Like, everyone described, her husband described her as super happy before she died. Yeah, so she, like, did not have any signs of being suicidal whatsoever.
Yeah, this seems fishy.
I'm not saying the government did it.
We're not stopping this episode until we solve her murder, is all I'm saying.
The government did it. We solved it.
Okay.
The government did it. She was doing too much stuff, and they didn't like it.
Well, people have theories that it was either the government did it or Frank Sinatra's friends did it because she, you know, was friends with the wrong kinds of mobsters, enemy mobsters. But they're also thinking that the reasons could be about Cuba and how she hated Fidel Castro.
A lot of enemies, it seems.
Yeah, she was kind of someone who believed in reporting the truth no matter what the truth was, and that always kind of made her some enemies.
Which would also be a very anime sentiment.
Yes.
Like, that's what you want in your protagonist. Like, they're out to do what's right no matter how much, you know, it hurts them.
And it would be very fun to see, like, how she succeeds. Like, this seems like a show that would involve a lot of, like, anime double crosses.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue. Maybe like some kind of Bakano style thing. Lots of characters, lots of intrigue, twists and turns.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra was like the first YouTube influencer. He wasn't actually good at anything.
He was pretty good at singing.
It took him a long time to get good at singing. He, like, the only reason he got successful is because, like, his mob ties bought him, like, a microphone.
Yeah.
That is, like, that's not a lie. That's just how he got famous. And then he learned how to sing afterwards. And he was mostly famous because he looked cool and had cool friends.
Hung out with some bad dudes, and that made him look rad again.
Exactly. Oh, man. Julia, just don't stop.
I love Dorothy Kilgallen so much. I'm so excited that I got an excuse to draw her.
Yeah, this is
looks
rad.
like the front and back of the manga for it, and it, like, wraps around.
Yes.
I imagine that her anime would be like, you know, investigating the government and then the government's cracking down, kind of Full Metal kind of feeling.
She also has a robot leg.
She also has a robot leg. What if I gave her like a robot arm? Would that help whatsoever?
I was gonna say like an eye of truth sort of situation where she can like see through bullshit.
Oh, give her like a glowing third eye, like Maximilian Pegasus style on her forehead.
Excuse me?
From Yu-Gi-Oh! Maximilian Pegasus?
What?
Jacob, we only watch good anime.
You don't know Pegasus? He's got the eye of the Millennium Eye.
I'm gonna look up this.
Caldwell, I can't believe you've turned on me this way.
Nah, I'm joking. This sounds dope as hell.
Where's Karina?
Get Karina in here.
Oh man, this is looking very Full Metal now.
Oh, this is so good. Julia, you crushed it. Also, thank you for teaching me, Jacob and Julia.
Thank you guys for teaching me. I think we all learned a little something
We
here
all
today.
learned. I love history.
Yeah, if you liked this episode, please let us know. And I don't know, maybe suggest other historical figures for us to learn about because I don't know any of them.
Yeah, or any other like informative stuff you guys want that we could like, you know, get a baseline knowledge of and then draw stupid shit while we talk about it.
This is Draw Class 2. Juristery class.
Juristery class. Not drostery, huh?
No. What? What's that?
All right, should we wrap up?
While we're winding down, I do want to ask that everyone please check out my podcast, Not Another D&D podcast that I do with Brian Murphy, Emily Axford, and Jake Hurwitz. It's a D&D podcast where I play a halfling paladin named Beverly Togold, who's a very good boy that does like murder and teeth. But please check it out. It's very fun, and that's all I have to plug.
That sounds wonderful. I've not listened yet, but I've seen a ton of good fan art, and that makes me very much want to listen.
Yeah. It's all very good. I started listening actually the other day, and it is very good.
Julia, thank you.
As usual, like and subscribe and all that stuff, and you can find all our links and whatnot down in the description. Follow us on every social media platform so you can never escape us no matter what you do. And as always, we are sorry.
Throughout the ages, we are sorry.
We're sorry.